Welcome back to some errata regarding the reverse engineering of the Haswing Protruar 2.0 24V electric trolling motor. In the more reverse engineering video about that thing, I made some statements about the piezo buzzer in the head and how it's driven by the motor controller down in the pod. Card here, link in the description. Now, based on these statements, I tried to replace the original buzzer by an external one, but it wasn't working. Card here, link in the description. That means at least some of the statements I made were false, and I want to rectify that in this video. Enjoy! That was the end result of my reverse engineering efforts. Let's zoom in on the buzzer. According to me, one wire of the piezo buzzer is connected to the 5V rail coming out of the motor controller, and I stand by that. While the other wire is also connected to the motor controller, where it is switched via some open collector drain circuitry down to the 0V rail. If that is really just a bare piezo buzzer, that circuit here ain't flying. I mean, it ain't buzzing. And I should have spotted that right away. I've drawn the piezo buzzer as a buzzer. Nothing wrong with that. But it would be better represented by a quartz symbol. Because at the end of the day, piezo buzzers and quartzes are quite similar. The only two differences are in size and the piezoelectric material between the electrode. In case of a quartz, it's obviously quartz. In case of a piezo buzzer, it's usually a piezoelectric ceramic. The equivalent circuit for such a piezo buzzer would be a capacitor. When we're talking about those small piezo buzzers, probably with a capacitance between 10 nano and 100 nanofarads. So, what would happen if you connected that capacitor on one side to 5V and on the other side via some open collector, open drain arrangement to ground, and you start flipping the switch on and off with a frequency of 2.5 kHz. The first time the switch closes or the transistor becomes conductive, the capacitor would charge up to the 5V, and then the switch would open again, and the capacitor would stay charged with 5V, and then the switch would close again, and, well, nothing would happen, because it's already charged up. And that's exactly what I observed, that is heard, when I connected my own external piezo buzzer. There was a single click, and then there was silence. So you see, this circuit here can't possibly work. Now, let's find out first if the driver circuit inside the motor controller is really some kind of open collector, open drain arrangement. How can we find out if the buzzer circuitry within the motor driver is a totem-pole arrangement that can pull the buzzer actively high and actively low, or if it's just an open collector drain arrangement that is either high impedance or pulling low. We connect the buzzer output via two, let's say 100K resistors to the 0V rail and the 5V rail. As long as the buzzer output is high impedance, that point here between the two resistors should stay at 2.5 volts. If the buzzer output is pulling it actively high and actively low, as in a totem pole arrangement, we would expect on an oscilloscope we connect here that waveform here, oscillating between 5 volts, actively pulling it up, and 0 volts, actively pulling that point low. If we only have an open collector drain arrangement, we will never go above those 2.5 volts. We are just pulling low in between to the 0 volt rail. So let's do that. Here's a black cable coming from the motor controller, somewhere below. That's the end of the shaft. And it's going here to a breadboard. What that does, I explained in that other video where the buzzer failed. But anyway, I connected the green wire, the buzzer wire, to that resistor arrangement and that oscilloscope probe. Having a closer look at the resistor arrangement here, you can see that one resistor is via that breakout board connected to the black wire, the 0 volt rail of the motor controller, and the red wire, the 5 volt rail from the motor controller, is connected to the other resistor. Both resistors are bound together here to the green buzzer wire. And then I connected my oscilloscope probe between that center point and 0 volt. Now let's have a look at the oscilloscope. Okay, single capture, and now I will power on the motor. And we get... oh, that's interesting. So that is here on the scope, the 2.5 volt line. And yeah, it definitely just pulls it down. Okay, so it is open collector. That much is right. However, look at the time scale, 200 milliseconds. So it's pulling down for 200 milliseconds each. That's 5 hertz. No, not quite. 1 point something hertz. And here's how the original buzzer sounds, which I have reconnected. 1 second. It seems this is not just a raw piezo buzzer, but it's actually containing its own driver electronic, and it's just, supplied by a switched DC line. No AC square wave action going on here. In turn, if I connect the buzzer now to simply the 0 volt rail here on my breakout, then it buzzes. It buzzes without being actively driven. Yeah, just a plain and simple DC buzzer. Sorry, it's a little bit unnerving to me. In a Chinese product, I mean, these things cost significantly more than just a plain old piezo buzzer. And it's absolutely no problem. There is a microcontroller somewhere hidden in the motor controller. To give a square wave out of one of its pins to drive that thing. While they should spend an extra 5 cents on a buzzer with a built-in driver, I don't know, but that's what it is. So the horrible truth is our buzzer is of the 5 volt DC type, and maybe it's not even a piezo buzzer, but an electromagnetic thing. Who knows? That's it for today. I would have never thought that they would spend the money for a buzzer with an internal driver when they have a perfectly good microcontroller down there who could just drive a cheap piezo buzzer. Yeah. Anyway, till next time, bye.